Well, good morning, superstar. I know you've been awake for a little while. We've already went outside, haven't we? And I just went to get us some groceries so we have something for the house and to pick up the mail. And it's the first time I've ever went to pick up the mail and they had to bring out an entire box and say, just take the box with you. Now, the priority stuff, that stuff I sent back. So that's like t-shirts. I'll show you what this is, that big one. That one's awesome. And I'm really excited that this white one right here came. I'll show you a little bit of what we got. That's one of the things we had to get at the grocery store. Yep, that gigantic sign will be going up above my door. Aloha from Hawaii, nothing. Aloha from Hollywood, baby. Now what's in here I was really excited about because I found him on eBay shortly before I left. Roddy Piper used to have his own merch store, and after he passed away, everything got packed away, and his wife recently put a few things on eBay that were in the store that you couldn't really get for a long time, and I snatched one of the 2 pair that were up. I'll show you. Well, if you know me, you know I love sunglasses, so check this out. Yep, signed pair of Roddy Piper sunglasses from They Live. So I'll have to find some way of displaying those around here. Those are awesome. You're paying all hard because you're about to get into beast mode. I just took you to get your nails cut, your glands squeezed, your teeth brushed, your ears plucked, and then we gave you a bath, and usually after a bath you go nutty. You race around the apartment trying to dry off, don't you, crazy man? Oh, that is rad. Even though we're not going to be doing business together in the future, Merch 5 and I have agreed to part ways. Totally, you know, no ill feelings or anything. Just things weren't catching on as quick. He sent me a dearly departed Jordan the Lion shirt anyway. Check that out. Hook Scott Michaels up with one of these if I can. Well, the plan was to head up to the dog park and start our day there, but it's starting to sprinkle, so we'll see what happens. We're going to go anyway. Well, it seems to have chilled out on the raining idea. It's pretty dry now. There's this welcoming committee. Who knows, it may rain while we're out here, but as long as he gets a little bit of time, that's all that matters. And what I vlogged today, we can do that in the rain or shine. So for my first day back in LA vlogging, we're gonna do one of my favorite movies, a movie that my mom turned me on to when I was a kid. It's probably not as good as Revenge of the Nerds, but it's right up there with the same vein, the same type of comedy, and I think it's a fantastic movie. Highly underrated movie called Moving Violations. And it stars the great John Murray. Not Bill Murray, his younger brother John. Definitely has the Murray charm though. Just from watching this movie, I always wondered why he didn't want to do more acting. He was in Scrooged and he was in Moving Violations and a couple other things, but he found more interest in directing and has been directing and behind the camera for many years. But in this movie, he has what I call the Jerry Eldini Meatballs type charisma that you see Bill Murray have in Meatballs. So if you like Meatballs, you'll definitely love this. And you can find this movie for free on YouTube. Someone has actually posted the whole movie in one entire video, and then they did like 8 separate videos of like 9 minutes at a time of the movie, so you can watch it for free. So if you don't know John Murray right off the top of your head, some other notable people that are in this movie are Sally Kellerman, Fred Willard, Jennifer Tilly, and in the particular scene that we're gonna vlog today, you get a really great scene with Robert Conrad and James Keach. And James Keach was not the Keach in the Cheech and Chong movies. That was Stacy, his brother. James Keach is a notable actor in his own right. He does a lot of directing, and he's married to Jane Seymour from Somewhere in Time and Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. What's the good word, Lone Wolf? James Keach was also the police officer in National Lampoon's Vacation, and he was great friends with Johnny Cash and June Carter, and was instrumental in getting the movie Walk the Line made. He kind of helped them develop that and produced it. That's it, Maniac. We're done with the park. All right, we're heading off to La Puente for our filming location of Moving Violations. Total classic, total comedy classic. And this is pretty much the the big turning point in the movie as to why the whole movie ends up happening is what happens here. So I guess I can set up a little bit of the movie. It kind of takes place on the freeway. Our main star here, John Murray, Dana Cannon, is out driving on the freeway, eating an apple with his arm hanging out the window, playing some steering wheel drums and some harmonica. Hits a bump, the apple flies out, and Officer Halleck pulls him over for littering. Gives him a ticket, and Dana Cannon's a bit of a smart aleck, and that's their first encounter. Dana Cannon would have had our kind of traffic. He would have never had anything bump out of his hand and fly out the window. And when they pull him over, they basically say, oh, by the looks of your vehicle, we're gonna give you several tickets, and they impound his car. And he owns a nursery, not a kid's nursery, a plant nursery, so he needs that vehicle to run his business. So not only a really cool roadside America, piece of Americana here, you have this donut that, it's basically two donuts that you drive into to get your, you guessed it, donuts, but, and it's in Dragnet. I know it's in the Dan Aykroyd, Tom Hanks Dragnet, but more importantly, it's in moving violations. So right here, instead of being a drive-through, they actually have a bunch of tables set up, and basically all the police officers use this as like their donut stop. And so we see Halleck and his partner, who's a female, and we find out right before this that she tells him that she got her period, so we know that they're kind of an item discreetly. So we see they're walking out, she's brushing the donut dust off of his mustache, and they look over here and they see parked right here in this spot a red car and Dana Cannon with his coffee on the back of the red car, which would have been right here, because as they come over and start talking to him, you can see this cinder block thing in the background. You can also see the fire station back there in the background while they're talking to him. So as I mentioned on the drive over here, he's already gotten a ticket and they've impounded his car before this. So they see him over here having his coffee on the back of this car, and they come over and say, Mr. Cannon. And he says, whoa, there must be some sort of divine power that really wants the three of us to be together. So of course that irritates Halleck, and Halleck says, well, I can see you don't park any better than you drive. And he goes, what are you talking about? And he says, this car's parked in front of a hydrant. And Dana Cannon says, well, I can see that. He goes, then get in and move this car. He goes, why? He goes, because you're breaking the law. And Dana Cannon says, no, I'm not. Just irritating the living hell out of him. So they come over and they start looking around the car, and Halleck goes, well, by the looks of this car, I can tell you've got a couple of violations, like this broken taillight. And he smashes in the taillight. And then he says, Deputy Morris, what about that front headlight? And she smashes out the front headlight. And the whole time Dana Cannon's standing here drinking his coffee, kind of like smirking and kind of giggling. And then Halleck looks up and says, well, Mr. Cannon, what do you think about that? To which Dana Cannon says, you guys are nutty, which sets Halleck off, and he starts bashing the trunk and going all the way around the car, bashing it in. And then Dana Cannon says the classic line of, gee, I don't understand this. I always loved you guys on Chips. So as they're bashing away on this car, all of a sudden their chief, the police chief, Chief Fromm, comes walking up from behind here and says, Halleck, what's going on here? And Dana Cannon says, sir, may I just say that this car was possessed and had to be destroyed? And Halleck jumps in and says, you see, sir, I asked him to move his car, and the chief interrupts and says, it's not his car, Halleck. Halleck says, it's not? No. It's mine! And the chief says, I want to see both of you in my office first thing tomorrow morning. Dana Cannon smugly walks up between him and says, ooh, sounds like trouble. That's all right. You two will bounce back. You're those kind of people. I can feel it. And then walks off and says, I'll see you around. Well, he's right. He will see him around, because the next scene we see is Dana Cannon and a bunch of other violators getting their cars taken away. They're sentenced to 5 days in traffic school. And who do you think is teaching traffic school? That's right. Officer Halleck and Deputy Morris are demoted and have to teach Dana Cannon and the rest of these lunatics the laws of the road. And the movie is hilarious all the way through. As you can guess, Dana Cannon is a headache through the whole movie. He's hilarious through the whole movie, and I think it's just a classic 80s movie. So let's go in and take a look at the donut hole. I mean, it is kind of roadside America and a really great filming location, and it's the first time I've ever been here. I kept looking at pictures online going, wow, it really looks different. I mean, as far as the layout, because online all I could see was the other side, and they didn't film it from that side, they filmed it from this side. So once I got over here and started going, oh, okay, there's the cement block trash can enclosure thing, and this is where the car would have been parked, and that's why you can see the road in the background. Only thing missing is this used to be grass right here, and that's where they had the fire hydrant. Let's go on in. Apparently this has never not been a donut shop. It opened in the late 60s, I think 68, and even though the original family that started it sold it in like the late 70s, another family bought it, and it's never not been a donut stop. Nice. Very old school. Like I said, in the movie you never see them drive through here, you just see them kind of walking out of this structure. And if you're just curious and want to see what the other side looks like, let's go take a look. Literally the exact same thing. That's why I said it's basically just two donuts. And they have had to do some structural repairing, because apparently at one point, and I'm guessing it's this side over here because you can see a little discoloration, that a car veered off and hit the side of it at one point. So that's probably what that's all about. See that? Probably had to do something over here. But now at least you can see how it's made, or what it looks like. Yeah, definitely way more than just a donut stop. I love this movie. Go check it out. Like I said, it's on YouTube for free. What do you got to lose? It's hilarious. Well, we're heading over to a friend of mine's house. They've invited me over for some dinner, and we're gonna go over to the Angels and Reds game at the Big A, home of the Angels. All right, we had a great dinner. Now we are at the park. Take a look at that. The Big A. There's Vic. He's going against the grain today, rooting for the Angels. A lot of people here today.
Out of your pockets in the express line.
Hey, take a look. It's Christmas in June. I don't know why it's Christmas in June, but it's Christmas in June. And this, I believe, is the world's largest hat. I think they consider that the world's largest baseball cap. I don't know, just kind of a weird sight in June, you know? Oh, looks like Mickey came out even for this one.
It is Christmas in June, and Christmas has come early. And to get your free gifts, come on.
All right, let's go on in. So the first thing I like to do when I come to this stadium, because I've been here before, we've actually vlogged this early on in my vlogging life. I like to go say hi to the Gene Autry statue, right over here. All right, Gene, only you and I know that you're rooting for the Reds tonight, right? Right. He's looking for a handshake. Anybody want to shake his hand? I'll go in for the handshake. Look at the boots. Right over here is the trophy case. They have one of the World Series trophies. I believe they have one of Mike Trout's awards, or a couple of them. The crystal ball and bat. Check that out. Gene Autry's cowboy hat. There's an Angels World Series ring. You can see the A on it right there in the dead center. World Series trophy. Final out from the World Series, Darren Erstad's glove. and the ball. And now the rally monkey cheers for condiments. All right, we're in the right field pavilion. All right, this is actually the way I like to see a game. I like to see it from a bit of a distance. I can see everything going on. See, even out there on the home run rocks, they've got a wreath, Christmas wreath. We had a home run. You can see everything smoking over there. That's all right, the Reds hit one already. Weig hit one. There are not many people at this game, so we went ahead and moved up a section. There's Votto and a beach ball. All right, they've got the t-shirt cannons. They're gonna shoot off the t-shirt cannon gun. Here we go. People are gonna lose their mind for a free t-shirt. They got the rally monkey out because we're going to the 9th with tie score 1-1. Well, so much for that tie. Well, as you can tell, the Angels won. Well, everyone, we're going to call it a night. Thank you, Cindy Metcalf, Glenn Heppard, Paul Michaels, Thomas Stone, and Judy Rideout for becoming my newest Patreons. Hope you all enjoyed this vlog, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great night, and goodbye.